What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with Henry Wilson. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Show. Today, we're taking a look at the Wednesday night main slate, starting off at 6:40 Eastern Time. We got 7 games on the block here. Henry did the playbook for today. We had some early baseball to watch, some day baseball that kicked us off. We did the pre-show last night covering that slate. So this is our first taste, our first look here. Breaking down this main slate. Henry, how we doing, man?
Doing great. Yeah, excited. Good. Love to have some day baseball and still get an evening slate. Like, that's the best of both worlds. It's great.
It really is. Again, a lot of baseball. Can't hate on it. We do have like some minor weather concerns for this slate. Nothing too major. Again, nothing that I don't think we're expected to impact as we did with the Cardinals Mets in the early slate got postponed today. But, some potential rain in the area for some of these late games. Boston, Atlanta, potentially having some rain on the slate too. Watch Arizona, Cincinnati also potentially dealing with some weather. So certainly something to watch for when it comes to that there. But for the rest of the part here, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, shouldn't be any problems, which is great.
Just threw your playbook into the chat. For those of you who are tuning in, you want to check that out, you can. But let's jump into the fun stuff here. We're going to start off at the pitching position. We got Chris Sale here going up against the Boston Red Sox, of course, trade this offseason that occurred. Sale's looked pretty good. He's healthy so far for Atlanta. $9,800. George Kirby in that matchup against Minnesota at $9K. Aaron Savali running it back against the White Sox. Killed us in that spot a few starts ago. What are your thoughts here in the top end of the pitching spectrum?
Yeah, man, I like all three of these guys. All three of them are written up in my playbook. I'm a fan of each of them. If I have to pick like my favorite, who I think is going to be the best today, it's got to be Chris Sale. Like, I just think this matchup is pretty good for him. Not just like, oh, he's going against his old team, but no, the Red Sox have the worst strikeout rate in the major leagues against lefties. They strike out 29% of the time against lefties, and Chris Sale also has a really nice 29% strikeout rate.
Yeah.
So just like good combination there for a whole lot of strikeouts, and Chris Sale's been pitching well. Like, there's a reason he's the highest priced pitcher on the board today. He just has the upside of anybody.
100% in agreement with you there. Again, obviously, I like Kirby in that strikeout upside against Minnesota. He's been one of the better pitchers for Seattle consistently this season. Obviously, Castillo starting to look like the ace that he is now. We expected that to come back around. Any interest in like a Pivetta off the IL? I mean, I know we don't usually go against Atlanta, but Acuna's been struggling. Matt Olson struggling. We saw Cutter Crawford pitch well against them last night. I mean, any interest in Pivetta here?
No, probably not. I think the price is just a little too high for him coming back off the IL. Like, I do love, like, he has great strikeout upside. And even against Atlanta, I think if it was like a combination of he was healthy in this price against Atlanta, I'd go for it. Or if it was, him coming off the IL at this price against a lesser team, then I'd go for it. But like this price coming off the IL facing Atlanta, I think it's a little too much for me.
If we are looking in the mid-tier, do you have a targeted starter for us here?
In that mid-tier, I'm probably going to go for Kyle Bradish. Now, this is only his second start coming off the IL, but like definitely will be ramping up more. So hopefully we get a few more innings, which will be great. Obviously, Washington doesn't strike out a ton, but they aren't the like non-strikeout team that they were the last 2 years. They do strike out a little more this year, and they're not a scary offense. And Kyle Bradish is just really good. I mean, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball for most of last year. So, like, if he's actually healthy and going to be pitching well, I think there's still strikeout upside. He's going to go long enough, I think, today to get you a win, which will be very likely with Baltimore going against Washington. So I just think there's a pretty good spot here for Kyle Bradish.
Yeah, I would agree with you when you're looking for it. Obviously Washington is not a team that I often like to target just because they don't strike out. Putting balls in play at times, it can be hazardous, but good win equity here, I think, with Baltimore, knowing that they have the offense behind them. You go for a little bit further down. Graham Ashcraft at home against Arizona. Carlos Rodon home against Houston. Jordan Montgomery's got the Cincinnati matchup. A lot of people are going to Jordan Hicks today. This is, again, sort of just like, hey, Colorado's offense is very bad. Even in cores, they're very bad. Thoughts on Hicks here at $6,800?
Yeah, I don't hate it. You can attack Colorado anywhere right now, even in Coors, it seems. Like,
Yeah.
they offense has just been super bad, and Jordan Hicks' talent is legit. Again, he's been a little shaky up and down, like a tiny bit, but this is his first year as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
We expected that a little bit as he kind of got used to going deeper into games, but the talent is still there, and he's been pitching very well. We saw that 9 strikeout game against Pittsburgh. Like, the upside is there for him to get a ton of strikeouts, even having to pitch in Colorado. That I totally get going for him here.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, going the value, and he's the highest rostered pitcher on the slate today, just given that value. What do we do with Chris Paddock? You seem to be the Chris Paddock whisperer here at times this season. Shuts out Boston 6K, shut out the White Sox, had 10 Ks in that start, got roughed up basically in between against Baltimore and LA. Seattle's offensive woes aside, like, do you look at Paddock here at 65?
Yeah, I do. I think if I'm going cheap, I probably even prefer him over the higher owned Hicks. I do
Yeah.
think the upside is just here. We've been stacking in Seattle a whole lot with our pitchers just because of the strikeout potential when they're facing anybody. But Paddock has like legit strikeout potential also, even without it being just Seattle. Like, we saw the 10 strikeout game against the White Sox, who, as terrible as they've been, they haven't been like striking out a ton.
No.
So like that is something to see there. And so coming in Seattle, like, yeah, if I want to save the money, like, I don't love it. I still like, I probably am paying up for pitching more often than not this slate. But
Yeah.
if I need to save money, I'm happy to go to Paddock.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well. You know, seeing a guy, kind of price where he is. I mean, he was up over 7K for a while, a couple of tough starts. Then he got down to $6,300 against Boston, pitched really well. Now, it just kind of piqued my interest there. I have no interest in anybody else, though. I don't imagine you do either.
Nope, that rounds it out for me for sure. Yeah, happy to go like Hicks Paddock on the low end, but there's no way I'm touching anybody else there.
Agreed. Let's move on. Let's move on over to catcher then. Where are we looking to go here? Obviously, a little bit of a smaller slate, so not too many price up options. But anybody in particular you like here?
I mean, really at the top end, I think there's not a whole lot I love. If I have to go for anyone like that's up above 3,500, I'm probably just going for Moreno, who gets to hit in Cincinnati because that's a great park, and Ashcraft is, good, not great. Normally, if I saw Connor Wong batting second against a lefty at that price, I would be all over that. Like, that's sweet. You get a catcher for that cheap batting second, but it's against Chris Sale, and I'm probably starting Chris Sale in most lineups, so not going to get Connor Wong.
Well, I was going to say he is hitting second. He's been really good, but I agree, kind of a tougher. Maybe because he's his former catcher, he has some insights on what he likes to do. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Anybody down below? I mean, we usually look to find some value on this slate. Now, there aren't too many matchups down here that are overly appealing, but what's the cheapest catcher you play today?
Probably James McCann. He's just someone who has a track record of being a decent hitter in the righty-lefty matchup here against Parker, who has been pitching well, but like, I don't really trust him against Baltimore. So I'm probably just going to go plug in James McCann. I also don't mind Austin Wells. He's a little higher, but I kind of like the Yankee stack a lot today. You can even, especially like you get to go to the middle of their lineup even is really good. So getting to add him in there for cheap is a pretty good option, but that's probably mostly where I'm living today.
Yep, with you there. First base. Up top is Olsen again, struggling. You got Mountcastle versus lefty. That's been a bingo spot for us for years. If you like going Baltimore today, you do have that matchup. I don't think much of Chris Flexen. I saw today you had a few Tampa Bay Rays written up as poor as their offense has gone. Do you like Yandy Diaz here at 4,500?
I don't hate Yandy Diaz. Again, he's been part of the woes of Tampa Bay being terrible. Like, Yandy Diaz and Randy Rosarina so far have been like two of the worst hitters in all of baseball, with some of the most at-bats. Like, it's pretty incredible. But I don't think that's going to continue. I even wrote up Randy Rosarina. And even I like some he
homered yesterday,
I think they're starting to turn around. This offense will not be as bad as they have been. And against Chris Flexen, I know they've been bad, but I'm willing to stack some Tampa Bay Rays today. But I mostly am probably passing Yandy Diaz because I like Anthony Rizzo underneath him a little bit better.
Sure.
Also a matchup, like two of my favorite stacks are probably the Rays and the Yankees, but Rizzo's actually been hitting very well lately compared to Yandy Diaz.
There's a lot of ownership going towards the Yankees outfield and Yankees players in general today. I'm sure you're not too shocked to see that. I just go even a little bit further. I just go back to Lamonte Wade.
Oh yeah,
three walks, 2 RBIs last night to hit 13 fantasy points. Didn't touch his price tag. Lambert's not very good. Give me some Lamonte Wade here at 4K.
100% with you. Again, I like Rizzo mostly if I am doing a Yankee stack.
Yeah.
And I want to put that in there. But if I'm not, then yeah, I'm with you. I'm just going back to Lamonte Wade.
Over at second base here, you got Altuve, Albies, Ketel Marte, Jordan Westberg. Like, what are your thoughts when it comes to spending up at second?
Yeah, I mean, if you're spending up, probably just take Altuve because he's going against a lefty. I know Rodon has talent. He's not going to get crushed lefty, but he hasn't been great so far this year. And it's in Yankee Stadium. Altuve mashes lefties. Like, if you want to pay up, just pay up for Altuve.
Yep. I'm sort of in agreement with you on that. Again, don't mind if you want to go Baltimore here. Ahmad Rosario was really hot for a while. Again, we like targeting Chris Flexen. What about the mid-tier? Any obvious plays for you here?
I'm going to go back to the Yankees here. I think Gleyber Torres priced at 3,900. Like, look, I know he hasn't been having the best season and he's moved down in the lineup, but for this cheap, like against a guy like Spencer Arrighetti, like I just think under 4K, he's just too good of a hitter. Like he's going to be better. This 557 OPS that he has currently, like there's no way he's going to continue to be that bad. He will hit better. It's a good matchup. Like I like going there today. So second base, if I have to live mid tiers, I'm probably just going to go with the lineup that I like, even with someone who's kind of underperforming.
Agreed. That one works for me. Any values? I mean, again, you like Sale, so the Red Sox bats are out. Anybody else for you down here? Second base value plays?
No, I don't like any of those cheaper guys. Like I'm willing to go to some of the, like if you need to go under Torres, like I could see going Jonathan India. If you don't like Bradish, I could even see going Luis Garcia Jr., who's been hitting super well.
Okay.
That's as low as I want to go at second.
I was gonna say, we got Mateo at 3K. If you wanted to get a little Baltimore, hitting. He doesn't profile as a 6 hitter, but they got him hitting 6 today. So maybe an opportunity to drive in runs. Kind of weird to see him there. I'm used to seeing him hit like 9th, but he's hitting 6 today. So.
Yeah. So even though he's not a great hitter, hitting 6 in that lineup, like there's got to be some RBI and run potential still, right? So
some guys might be on base for him to slap a single through. Third base, you got McMahon at 54. He at least has a lefty-righty matchup for himself tonight. Riley coming on, getting the Pivetta off of the IL. Chapman gets Lambert. Where are your thoughts here? I know that you had written up Paredes in your playbook against Flexen for today as well.
Yeah, I'm probably just going down to there. Like, I don't know if I love a lot of these top options. Again, like Austin Riley obviously is great, but even though I'm not taking Pivetta, like I don't know if I really want to stack Braves against Pivetta either, because he can be a very good pitcher. And I like Jordan Westberg, but the price also seems high. And Isaac Paredes has just been fantastic all season. Like, despite the Tampa Bay offensive woes, they haven't been because of him. Like, he has been an absolutely awesome hitter all season, even better than he was last year, which is saying something because he was awesome last year. So especially when I'm actually in on some of the other Tampa Bay Rays too, I think they're turning around. There's no way I'm going to pass up on Paredes here.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You got the home run yesterday. And as you mentioned, if these guys start heating up, there's going to be a lot of runs coming quickly here for Tampa Bay. Paredes is a guy with some crazy ISO numbers. So a lot of power coming out of his bat. In the mid tier, I can't touch Alex Bregman. I know that he just something is off with him, right? In the past, he's hit lefties well. Got a lefty here, but I can't really put him in any lineups right now. You got Rojas, Oswaldo Cabrera. What are your thoughts as we work our way down into the 3K range?
Yeah, I mean, I like Eugenio Suarez there too. Going back to
Sure.
his old park in Cincy, obviously it's a great home run park, and he's a great home run hitter. So I don't mind him there in that matchup. And I'm still happy to go back to Josh Rojas. I like the Mariners have been frustrating. I'm not ready to like go back and say I want to stack the Mariners again, especially like we said, we do like the Paddock upside. But like as a one-off, I'm sure he's going to be leading off again today. Like
Right.
he continues to deliver, and he is cheap. Like I'm okay rinsing and repeating there as well.
Yeah, I agree. As we work our way down a little bit more, there's not a ton down here that I would look to play. If anything, honestly, I mean, if maybe Houston's lineup comes out and Dubon is playing, oh, I could take maybe a peek there at 3K, but that's probably it for me.
Yeah, I'm probably with you there. The rest of these guys like either just aren't very good or also have tough matchups in them. Like just
Mm-hmm. Shortstop, we got Ellie up at the top at 61, Abrams at 6K, Gunnar gets the lefty at 57.
yeah. I mean, these are all really good options. All three of those guys are just such good hitters. Like I could see going for any of them. I probably want to just go for Gunnar Henderson if I have to choose between those top three, because like even the lefty hasn't not been a problem for him this year. Like he is, I think, actually hitting lefties better than righties this season, which I don't know if that will hold, but I'm not worried about him not being able to continue to face lefties well. Like he's just that good of a hitter.
Yeah, agreed. Where are you? Where are you looking to go in the mid tier? Like, what's your top plug here today? Short.
It's probably Jeremy Pena. Dude just crushes lefties. He's been pretty solid and consistent all season, but especially against a lefty, I just really like that matchup. Even against someone like Carlos Rodon, said I don't know if I want to be stacking Astros today, but Jeremy Pena as a one-off play is also just fantastic. I think in this matchup.
Yeah, I like that the price is coming down a little bit more. I mean, there was again high point was 47, and we are like, I know he's hitting well, but
Yeah.
it kind of a bit too much. Coming back down to 4K, I think certainly makes some sense there. If you're not playing Kirby, we know Willie Castro has some speed potential there. Arcia is hitting 6 today for Atlanta. Not versus a lefty where we usually like him, but still, if you think that it could be a bit rusty, there's that matchup possibly. Anything else for you here?
No, Arcia was the lowest one that I thought like, oh yeah, I could maybe put him in.
Yeah.
Not my favorite either. I'd rather just pay up for Pena, but like I could see doing Arcia. Anyone lower than that, I'm like, no, I got to find the money to go above because it's rough.
Agreed. All right, let's go to outfield. Maybe be a bit more exciting. Again, the Yankees outfielders are the top expected rostered plays for obvious reasons. Soto, Judge at 63 and $5,900. Anybody else, above 5K that you're looking to plug in today?
Yeah, I mean, Yankees are obviously the clear favorites here, but I want to talk about Randy Arozarena. I know over 5K for a player that's batting 150 seems ridiculous, but he has 3 homers over his last 5 games, and this is a guy who just lives in hot and cold streaks. Like we've seen these cold streaks before. When he's not hitting well, like he just starts pressing and he starts chasing, and it can get ugly. It's not normally this ugly for this long. Like this has been bad. But like this happens. He goes through these streaks, and then as soon as he turns it back on, he can be one of the best hitters in baseball for a while. And so when I see 3 homers over the last 5 games, like I'm thinking that this is him figuring it out because it was going to happen eventually. He's very, very talented. So I'm ready to jump on, even with the 5K price tag.
Yeah, there was a point earlier this season where I was basically taking the unders on all of his props over on underdog and prize picks, under fantasy points, under hits, runs, and RBIs, and it was paying off pretty consistently. Now we're obviously starting to heat up, paying off far less frequently, and probably just time to move on from that altogether and maybe attack some of these lower props and take advantage of his current hot streak. So I'm with you there, and I know our guy Mark Pitts, who does our MLB DFS playbook on Saturdays. Usually he's tuning into the show as well. We'll be happy to hear the Randy Arozarena endorsement. He's got him in our seasonal league that we're in together, and he's been crying about the slow start. So happy to get him going around there. Under 5K targets. I mean, what do we make of Corbin Carroll here? Back-to-back games, multi-hits, had a homer. Like, are we beginning to see the turnaround for a guy that was once well above 5K, now sitting at 4,800?
Yeah, I think so. No, I absolutely think so. Again, someone that I'm willing to pay, even though you see the price tag and the numbers, and it doesn't add up. But like, I think he is turning around. It's not surprising that he went through some small slump. Like guys do this, a little sophomore slump. Like they just go through these where they have to have some growing pains. Pitchers maybe figure something out, but then Corbin Carroll's good enough that he's gonna figure out how to make the adjustments and start hitting well again. And so yeah, I'm fully ready to jump on board. I think he is really talented. He's a guy I also own a lot of places in season long fantasy. So hope I'm right here in his turnaround because it's been a painful start for what we expected out of Corbin Carroll. But yeah, I think it's coming, and I like the Diamondbacks in this spot today.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, a good pricing for a guy that was $1,000 more expensive. When the season started there. And the mid tier, what's your go to targets here? Because it's a kind of a mess of guys that are kind of slumping a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's like no one is super exciting around this. Like I'm happy to go with the other Diamondback there and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And if I'm not going there, I'm probably going after these cheaper Yankee outfielders in Stanton and Verdugo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stanton, obviously, we know the home run upside is there. Homer the other day actually has hits in 4 straight games. Verdugo is right up there among the highest rostered players on this slate as well. Where's his price tag at? Am I just missing him?
He's 3,700.
Okay, so further down, he's hitting cleanup. One of the reasons why he's as expensive as he is, or more as popular as he is, really 3 hits less today with the homer. Yeah, I'm with you there.
I also, the other Diamondback outfielder besides Lourdes too, you can go to with Jock Peterson, who's batting third, is also real nice in a good home run park. Like that's a great spot for him too.
Yeah, I took the under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs on Lourdes yesterday. He went 0 for 4. He's a guy that's just fighting it right now, but maybe Ashcraft can kind of get him going there. Excuse me. Anything else for you for value outfielders?
I mean, you can go back to if you want to go for some more of these Giants guys again against Lambert. Like you want to go Mike Yastrzemski again. I think doesn't hurt to try to go after Lambert in Colorado. I think I'm happy with that. I don't know. There's not a whole lot else like jumping out to me other than I like these Diamondback guys, like these Yankee guys here. But
yeah, if you weren't playing Bradish, I would say maybe Jacob Young just because he's leading off at $3,600. He has the ability to steal 2-3 bases if he can find a way to get on. So
sure, especially if you aren't going Bradish, do a pairing of if you can pair Young and go CJ Abrams too. Like that's pretty sweet. Like yep, absolutely.
If you aren't buying into Savali, Gavin Sheets is 3,400 hitting second. Yeah. There is that potential there for him, a little power upside. But other than that, there really isn't a ton. Fairchild's 28.
Fairchild batting 6th. I mean, he can provide some offense sometimes. Don't hate that.
Yeah. All right, let's get a lineup build here. You had Sale as your cover, $9,800. What's your SP2 today?
It's either I'm like just paying and doubling up and taking Kirby or Savali, or I'm going Chris Paddock. So it's do we want to try to
have Paddock? We like the Yankees here, so
yeah.
Let's see. Maybe we just 3-stack the Yankees outfield. Judge and Verdugo. Let's see what that leaves us.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is he down? 37, you said?
37, yeah.
All right. So we got 3,500. We're just gonna punt catcher.
Yep.
McCann, you mentioned.
Yeah, McCann's my favorite of the low group, probably.
All right, I like Lamonte Wade here. It's 4K. 3,700 for second, third, and shortstop. So let's see here. What was do we have a value that we were in on down here? Let's see.
Suarez.
Just kind of clicking around. RC was 36. Nothing more cheap than that. All right, let's
nothing obvious, that's for sure.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Let's do we said it. Why not? Let's do it.
He's batting 6th. We got it. We have McCann. There's 8th too, so you have that tight Orioles stack. Why not?
And you know what? It's a smaller slate. I'm sure someone's gonna have a 0. And we can make out with Mateo there. All right, $4,100 gives us a little bit more breathing room. Can we do Paredes as a one-off? What does that leave us with?
I mean, then you got to go even under Arcia. It'd be nice if you could go Arcia. I would have been happy with
Or
it.
$100. Is there
I just dropped the catcher maybe then.
Yeah, go Luke Male, just
Sure, yeah.
or
what's the real
Alex
difference
Jackson against Flexen? Sure, why not? Let's do that.
Yeah.
There we go. Complete Pondek catcher. We still even have $300 left over if we wanted to play with it. Was there 39 shortstop? Not really. Okay. All right. So we stacked the Yankees outfield. We gave us some power upside with Paredes, Chris Sale, Chris Paddock, Jackson, Wade, Mateo, Paredes, Arcia, Soto, Judge, and Verdugo. An example lineup for everybody there. Again, you can go check out the playbook for tonight's main slate from Henry. You can give us a follow on Twitter and get in the Discord. Ask us your lineup questions. We're here to help you out. No live show tomorrow. Howard and I are going to cover what we assume is going to be 2 3-game slates, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. We'll see how it breaks up. But we'll just have the preview show for tomorrow. So you can check that out. At some point tonight will be released. And then we'll be back live with the live show on Friday. Until then, everybody, good luck with your lineup builds, and we'll catch you all later.